us?
Yes, now we unmuted, so now you can hear us as well.
Excellent.
We are doing this very professionally.
So in that case, that means now probably.
Nope.
On YouTube.
We're still having huge problems with the connection. Live.
Oh, we're live. Okay. So, sorry for the little interruption, everyone.
Yeah, very sorry.
I do hope that you excuse us. This is, as I said, the first time we're running a virtual event. It held up for 2 talks out of 3, so that's pretty good. We made it over the summit of the hill. Now, I would like everyone who's here right now, and there's like 9 people watching, to just very quickly write in the chat box if you can hear us, if you can see us. And if not, then we'll have to do more troubleshooting. If you can see us and hear us, that would be fantastic, because that means that we get to do the last and fantastic talk on a topic that is really dear to my heart from a person who is fantastic and has lots of experience in the field. So let's see what you all are doing. I know that there's like 10 people watching. Again, use the chat box. Let us know if you can hear us and see us, please. And then we'll get moving with the rest of the meetup again, which, again, I'm sorry for the interruption. That happens. Things can go wrong. That's something that we just have to accept. We can see and hear you. I hear from my fantastic back channel, my secret connection, and also more people seem saying that it works fine. That's great. Again, sorry for the interruption, but this just basically adds suspension to the last fantastic talk that we have scheduled for tonight. I'm really, really happy that the stars aligned to make this happen, because our next speaker is from Luxembourg, so not that easy to get into Zurich, and it's a topic that is awesome, and I am missing working on it a little bit sometimes. It is about bringing 3D to the web, and Vasilika is a fantastic expert on the topic, and I'm really, really excited for the talk. So I'll not take any more stage time from her. Here's for you, Vasilika Klimova, and getting the basics of 3D on the web. Go! Stage is yours.
Hi, just to share my screen. Do you see my screen? It's fine?
Yes, everything is fine. We can see
you. Great. And everyone, I hope can listen me now and watch presentations. Okay, then I can start. Um, Hi guys, my name is Vasilika Klimova, as Martin said before, and today especially for Web Zurich I prepared not a big talk about 3D basics, and I will show you amazing examples, and then we will see how to build your own application. Just one question, should I switch on the camera or something like this now? Or is it fine? Guys, can you help me?
It is up to you.
Yeah. If you feel comfortable, go for it. If you don't want to, that's fine as well.
I will try to do it, okay? I just think that it will be more understandable for people. Okay, then let's go. I started my life with computers when I was 3 years old, and I like computer games, video games very, very much. And what we should know about 3D that computer games actually it's the reason why we have all this power in browsers as well as for desktop applications, as for desktop games. And it's a very big thank you for computer games. And who I am? I'm actually front-end developer. My stack was different in different companies. Now I'm writing on Angular and TypeScript. And previous job I had with React and three.js and all this stuff with 3D interesting tasks. And also I'm speaker at conferences, and I really very after all conferences I usually very inspiring, and I like community, and I like to share my knowledges and to know something new from my friends as well, and not just friends. I think it's super cool that we have our communities in different countries. And also last year I created my own web school. It's just based in Luxembourg, and I teach people of web basics as well. Okay, let's start with 3D. This model, it's not me, it's from my previous job, Artec 3D company. We did this 3D viewer, like player for showing 3D models. You can check this link. I'm not going to open each link to show you all my examples. You can check them later. All links will be in presentation. Just not to spend time for all of them. And what we have done here, my previous company creating 3D scanners, and you can scan yourself, for example, like this. It's me, I'm dressed as you see here, and yeah, and then you can put your 3D model on browser. That's the idea of like WebGL technology, that you can put 3D models to the browser. And here you can change the materials of your models. You can add some special effects to materials, or you can even, if you see here, to make like storytelling with the presentation of your scene. And put, as you see here, girl on the highway, and also you can do whatever you want with the environment map in on your scene. And there are a lot of different opportunities. It was very nice, funny experience. Okay, what about support? It's actually WebGL first version supports almost everywhere now, except like Internet Explorer, old browsers. And now we have already WebGL. It doesn't have support in Safari yet, but in Chrome, Firefox, it's quite well. Okay, let's see first example. It's a very actual example with maps, 3D map and statistics about COVID or pandemic virus. And for example, in Luxembourg, we have, you see, about 88 deaths now. And what's in Switzerland? Yeah, You can see everything you want, and even here to see the story, how it was done from the beginning, the progress of it. It's quite a common use case when you have such maps. Just wait a second, I need to come back to my presentation. Yeah, and another example, it's like 3D galleries. There are quite a lot of them, galleries, and I just show you one what I like. You see, it's like a little bit parallax. I don't know about how fast you see my examples now online, but you can check them later on your own computer and you get link to the presentation. And here there is some 3D objects, and you can play with this scene. And these objects, when you go, you can go through inside and see some different sections of this website. Okay. Then there is a new direction about like creative development. There are already a lot of, not a lot of, it's still narrow field, but there are some creative developers, very cool guys who can do amazing things in browser that you, I don't know, will be very interesting inspiration after looking on this. And this, when you click, you can also go and check, but it's like, wow, it's amazing. I hope that you see all this very fast, as I see. And it's with like particle system. You can go from one element to another element. It's, I don't know, it's amazing for me. Next example from Play Canvas company. It's a company who built their own framework for doing a lot of interesting 3D scenes. And this example was, let's see, it had some overt or something like this. Let's check this. It's a 3D car, and you can change here colors a little bit, and it's moving even without you, and not driving without any person inside. Okay, and it's like small editor or something like this, configurator. Next case, it's like 3D tours. It's also very popular now in real estate. You can have this apartment, and here I don't see this example, but it should be somewhere on this page. Okay, you can check. I think it's just need to a little bit better. They have different apartments. You can look and go from one room to another room, and there are different things. It's like Sims, you know. You can play almost here. It's fun. Could be very useful for real estate agencies. Okay. Next small example with even UI elements. I put here links to Toggler and these UI buttons. Maybe someone can do it with like small video or small GIF inside these elements, but actually it's canvas here, and it's very, very interesting also application of 3D. As I said, also there are some 3D configurators. You can check by this link. It's body, and you can see a lot of different organs inside this body. Also interesting experience. And then presentation. You know that for game Assassin's Creed, they scanned Notre Dame, and because of it, we have real real 3D scan of this building, and it was very interesting that now architects can use it and to like rebuild, reconstruct it, and it's also useful. Actually, scanning is very useful thing. I just need to wait this example a little bit. But storytelling, it's when you have an example and you can go through different spots of the same model and check it. And I don't know why, but it's too long. I don't have time for waiting this example. Okay, maybe we'll show you if it will be long. Okay, let's start with basics and what exactly it is. I showed you some examples, and it's everything about WebGL technology. What's inside this technology? We use for drawing elements, we use special HTML tag canvas, and for us it's like picture, like nothing. We can't go inside this element. Like for example, SVG graphic vector element, you can check all small pieces in the picture, and you can even animate them. But in Canvas, you can't do it in HTML. You don't see anything inside Canvas. That's why we use JavaScript and WebGL. It's like from OpenGL library and API for JavaScript for doing 3D stuff on browser. And that's why we can draw just using Canvas and using JavaScript methods like functions, special things. And also, if we talk about real good performance, because for games, for all these configurators, we need very powerful computers, something we can think. But actually, we use OpenGL shading language, and I will tell you a little bit more why it's so good that we use it. Okay, each model on our scene is polygons. Polygons, it's triangle, and everything were done by default from vertex. It means that we have 3 vertex and it's 1 polygon. But what if we have a lot of very complex models? It means that we have a lot of polygons, and we need to somehow to deal with it, and not to feel that your MacBook flying away from all this stuff in browser tab. That's why we use shaders, because they they are working on a video card. It's like small programs, or not small, but they're working on video card, and it means that they use GPU, a graphic card processor. And what else about shader language? It have like C syntax, and it has types, and we write it like JavaScript strings or templates, JavaScript. And we can change it runtime. I mean, you can go to special tab in web development tools and rewrite shaders and see immediately the result. You can't do it with desktop game. You need to go inside code and then compile the program. And it's very interesting. Okay, about data types. We have in shaders different data types. Bool, it's like true, false, logical type. Then int, integer, it's like small numbers. No, it's just like integers, and float, it's numbers with which are not integer. Okay. And then we have vectors, because when we talk about 3D, of course, we have different directions, and we have axis, and we need vectors and matrix to, for example, to change position of one element to another of object. We need to change like one matrix to another matrix, and that's why we need actually knowledge of of mathematics, or we just can use some special methods from libraries which we can use for drawing 3D. And Assembler 2D, it's a type for textures. Now we need to understand a little bit deeper how we work with these different shaders. Actually, it's you need to understand that it's not necessary to use shaders and to write them. You can start to work with 3D with WebGL or with all this interesting animation without knowing how shaders work deeply. But let's spend a little bit time to know it. Okay, we have two different shaders, vertex and fragment. And in vertex shaders, we have all data about our 3D model. It means all polygons, they build in vertex shaders. And then when we have all our vector model, we need to draw it, but in canvas element. And canvas element in browser, it's like a picture, and it means that in pixels. It's not again like SVG, and where you see vector graphic and when you can zoom it and it's fine. No, canvas element, it's raster graphic. That's why you need to understand that for each pixel you need to use fragment shader. And in the end, all your triangles, they should be like rasterized to pixels. And you use vertex shader for each vertex, and you use fragment shader for each pixel. Actually, I think it's everything what you need to know now about shaders. Okay, we can start to write one small program in real native WebGL. Look, it's not really hard. We just create, as I said, vertex shader, fragment shader. You see that the code of the shaders, it's in JavaScript strings. Yeah, we can write it in templates as well. But yeah, then we need set our shaders, compile them, attach to like 3D program, and then okay, blah blah blah, and draw. And what you can see after this small program? Oh, fine. It's just a point. Ha, ha, ha. That's why I suggest you to use libraries, frameworks actually, because it can reduce your time to do very, very beautiful 3D stuff without knowing actually how to attach shaders and all this stuff. It's very deep. And for example, we use three.js. It's library from Mr. Dupe on Twitter. It's Ricardo Cabela, developer, creative developer. And there are another things. For example, Play Canvas, Babylon.js, and etc. etc. Okay, we want to do something in scene. We want to draw some element. How we can start? We need to have some model, or we can use some model from library, because in three.js there are a lot of different objects, 3D objects, which you can draw already from the box. But let's imagine that we have just some 3D model. Then what we need for it? We need geometry. It's vector model of it. It's all points, all polygons inside this geometry. Then we need to cover this geometry like skin, and it will be our material. And material it has actually a lot of different properties, colors, I don't know, transparency, and a lot of different stuff. Then we can use texture. And for this, we can use photo, usually. It's like picture. And when we mix it all together, then we have 3D model, or polygon mesh, if you want. And also, very important classes which we need to use for at least see something on our 3D scene, on canvas element. We need to set up scene, because scene it's container for everything on this canvas element, but like in JavaScript code, we need to use scene class in three.js library. Then we need to use light, and light, if we don't put light on the scene, it will be dark scene, you can't see anything. Then camera, because on this picture you can see that, for example, we stand on the left side of the picture and we look to the scene, and we have different plane which like limits for our view. And renderer. Renderer, it's a class who draws elements on the scene. It's like drawer. About camera, we need to know that usually we use perspective camera because it's like our vision. If objects very far, we can see them small. And orthographic camera, it's like orthographic projection. We usually don't use it, but sometimes we need it. Materials. As I said, in three.js we have a lot of materials, and you can set up them. On the left side you see material with texture. On the right side it's just material with color. And texture can be different. For example, right texture, it's mine texture, and this from our Tech 3D company, when we scan myself, then from the soft of our Tech 3D you can get some something like this. Looks crazy. And okay, let's look. Don't be scary. I will explain everything on this slide. Let's look on this example in three.js now. All these first strings, it's just about set up the scene. You see that we define scene, we talk about camera perspective as our human eye, then we set up renderer, and we say width and height of the window of browser. Then we need just to say that we need to use some geometry. We want to draw, use some basic materials, and we draw cube, you see, as example. That's all. Then we add everything to the scene. And on next, like this function, we if we draw and render it just once, it will be like absolutely static scene, and you don't see that it that is 3D. It will be like a picture on canvas. That's why we add this animation, rotation, and it will rotating during the scene. Okay, and if you want to put and to use your 3D model, you can use different format of files like OBJ, I don't know, a lot of another objects there are. With texture, without texture, you can even use colors in OBJ file, or you can use. No, you can't use colors in OBJ file because in OBJ you need to use texture, but sometimes you can use colors inside the file. Okay, and trackball controls. It's for showing camera and to move camera like from the mouse. It's also special class from library, three.js library, which you can just use from the box. How it works? You just need to understand that we use request animation frame function to use it like with set interval, because we need to update our scene each time, and request animation frame, it's better for performance. It's this method can work just when for browser is better. Just think about like this. And then it's like loop. You always update controls, update scene, and draw again and again. And then you can see this model. Like if you download OBJ file, it's my file, and my texture, which I showed you before, then you can look at 3D model of yourself. And the last thing what I wanted to show you, it's about particles. And particles, it's amazing thing. You already saw it in one example. and it's like actually small spots, but you can put in these spots 3D model, for example, and even interact with it. And these particles, these small spots, they will like move in different direction, like here from your mouse. And it's, I don't know why, but I like these examples very much. I can see. Okay. And the last thing what I wanted to say about one small example, when my previous company used scanner for one movie in America, and they scanned people, and in this movie they wanted to like destroy everyone after this in the end of the movie. But with fur, it's not good. It's not very good with fur. That's why in the end of the movie, all people were killed, and in particles they like scanned people and then put them to 3D and then destroy them. But cats still alive in this movie. That's why be like cats. It's good opportunity. Okay, WebGL features and what we can say about it, that it's cross-platform absolutely. You write one code and you can see it it will work on desktop and mobile application and a lot of other modern technologies. And it's absolutely free. You can start now. It's not so hard. I just hope that you just can try and look at it. Okay, and dream more, all amazing things which you can do, just believe in yourself and be inspired of another people who already did it, and just try or do your own way. And I forgot to say that, yeah, I'm organizer of a Luxembourg JS meetup, one of organizers, and you're welcome to be a speaker in our meetups as well. And thank you for listening, and thank you very much to Max Mihev, who helped me with this preparation to this presentation. Thank you, Max. Thanks.
Awesome. Thank you very much, Vasilika. That was awesome. And I'm so glad that we had the talk. And I definitely encourage everyone to just like go and try out WebGL and three.js. And also A-Frame is a really good way to get into things. Definitely try it out. It's super cool. Check out her demos as well, because we are only streaming with 30 frames per second. So the animations will look a lot better in your browser. So definitely try that out. Thank you so much for joining us. And also, if you ever, any of you goes to Luxembourg, check out Luxembourg JS Meetup. Lovely community as well. And yeah, just generally, thank you so much for being with us tonight and just like going through this interesting time. And before I send you all off to your evenings, remember, we also have a lovely Slack channel with like lots of people there to chat. If you want to continue the tech chat, if you want to find out who lives and works in Zurich and the surroundings on web stuff, join us. Go to webzurich.ch and join the Slack there. There's a button saying Slack, and you get an invitation, and then you're part of our Slack community. There's an introduction channel, just say hi. There's a random channel for all sorts of things, and then there's lots more to explore and discover. Thank you all so much for joining us. Thanks a lot for all the chat activity, and hope to see you soon again. The next meetup is on the 25th of May. And yeah, it's probably also going to be virtual again. We'll figure out how to not kill the stream in the middle of it. But yeah, it'll be fantastic and to see you again. And I hope that we get to do our summer barbecue together soon as well. Thanks a lot.
And you can ask questions in Twitter, for example.
And you can ask questions on Twitter. And yeah.
We have also a Slack channel where you can join. So
we had 13 people in the stream so far. That's lovely.
So
let's hope it's more next month.
Goodbye.